Here's a story about WikiLeaks that has some very important ramifications, very serious, and also will have a preposterous and hilarious quote from Donald Trump. First, the serious stuff. Think Progress reports potential charges against Assange and other members of WikiLeaks could include conspiracy, theft of government property, and charges under the Espionage Act. Here we go again. So this is being reported by the Washington Post at the end of last week that the government, including the Justice Department, of course, considering charges against WikiLeaks. Now, that has implications for all the press because WikiLeaks didn't take any of the documents, they published them. Now, by the way, the Washington Post also published some of those documents. And a lot of the concern is about, well, this could affect the mainstream media too. It could also affect the non-mainstream media like WikiLeaks. I like how most of the press is like, well, I mean, WikiLeaks, who cares if they go to jail? But wait a minute, it could affect me. Yes, it could affect all of the media. So Jeffrey Pyle is an attorney whose expertise is in the First Amendment and these media organizations. He says, if this is true, this could be a very, very grave threat to the practice of news reporting generally. Now, if you can't publish anything your sources have given you and cultivating sources becomes a crime, well, you've killed the First Amendment. You killed the freedom of the press. And you did it by saying, well, WikiLeaks is super dangerous, so we had to arrest them. Now remember everybody, you publish anything we don't like, we're gonna arrest you. We don't have free press anymore if you do that. Look at what Mike Pompeo, the CIA director, is saying about WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks walks like a hostile intelligence service and talks like a hostile intelligence service. Well, couldn't you say the same of other people that publish those documents, The Intercept, Washington Post, and the list goes on. Oh, well, you took these documents that the CIA didn't want you to take. You didn't take them from the CIA, but you published them. Well, I mean, you were doing your job in the press. Sorry, it walks like a hostile intelligence agency because it took the documents that I didn't want out there and published them. And it talks like a hostile intelligence agency. You're all under arrest. If you can do it to Julian Assange, you could do it to anybody. Finally, one more from Think Progress. While pursuing Espionage Act charges against the State Department, remember this happened under Obama, leaker Stephen Kim in 2011, the Justice Department referred to Fox News reporter James Rosen in a court filing as an aider, abettor, and or co-conspirator. So that was the Obama administration. Remember, they did this Espionage Act. They charged more journalists with the Espionage Act than the rest of all of the American administrations combined. And later, Holder said, oh yeah, that was probably a little overstep what we did with Rosen there, and I regretted a little bit. Well, you opened the door, and not only did you open the door, you ran through the door. You did the most amount of Espionage Act charges, and now Trump goes, oh, thank you very much. I don't like the press anyway. I just called them an enemy of the people. And the Obama administration told me I could charge him with the Espionage Act. Great. Let's start with Assange and see how deep we can go. This is a terrible, disastrous, unconstitutional idea. Now, despite that, we do get to, look, it's both funny and gives you insight into what kind of a person Donald Trump is and how he's going to act, and hence serious as well. In an Associated Press interview about this issue, Donald Trump had the temerity to say, quote, never heard of WikiLeaks, never heard of it. When WikiLeaks came out, all I was just saying is, well, look at this information here. This is pretty good stuff. I don't support or unsupport. And he says that he would let Jeff Sessions charge them with a crime, any crime that he thinks is appropriate. Wait, you never heard of WikiLeaks? That's curious because I remember this.
So today, I guess WikiLeaks, it sounds like, is going to be dropping some more, and the more emails WikiLeaks releases, the more lines between the Clinton Foundation, the Secretary of State's office, and the Clintons' personal financiers, they all get blurred. Newly public emails, WikiLeaks. This magnitude's worse, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many people in law enforcement. This is worse than Watergate. By the way, did you see another one? Another one came in today. This WikiLeaks is like a treasure trove. Another one came in today. They've got to start talking about WikiLeaks. This just came out. This just came out. WikiLeaks, I love WikiLeaks.
Quote, never heard of WikiLeaks, never heard of it. I love WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks is a treasure trove. by the way, you're under arrest. You think Donald Trump was going to be on your side? It's only one side Donald Trump's on, and that's his own. The rest of us, watch out. Podcast The Young Turks anytime you want. tytnetwork.com/join.
I think it's weird.
No, it's not weird. In fact, you'll think,
I'm like a smart person.
do it now. tytnetwork.com/join.